All right, thanks for joining us on Mid-Morning this Wednesday. This morning, the government released its monthly report on inflation, the Consumer Price Index.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger joins us from New York with the latest. Good morning, Jill. So, Jill, can you tell us what this December data shows us?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the inflation rate did actually go up in the month of December, up 2.9% from a year ago. But that was very much expected because of energy. The energy component of the Consumer Price Index was up, and it drove more than 40% of the gain. Now, when we look at the core rate of inflation, that removes food and energy because they're very volatile categories. That core rate was up by 3.2%. And that was actually a bit of a positive surprise, a small decrease from the previous month. And that is why when you start looking at your stock portfolio later this morning, you're going to see that stocks are up because investors are cheering the fact that the core inflation rate is down slightly.
So how could this report impact the Federal Reserve?
Well, the next meeting is in 2 weeks, and I think it's largely believed that officials are not going to do anything when it comes to interest rates. We're at 4.25% to 4.5%. The Fed does want to see that inflation rate continue to come down. They want to make sure that higher rates aren't hurting the labor market, but we got a very strong labor market reading. So I think that generally speaking, we're going to see nothing in January. It could even be that in March they don't do anything, but this is all data dependent.
So, Jill, we are just days away from the inauguration. President-elect Trump has promised tariffs as soon as day one of his presidency. So what impact could that have on inflation?
I think a lot of this depends on the details of how broad these import fees will be. So generally speaking, tariffs usually lead to higher prices on many of those imported goods. So it is possible that the Trump administration does more targeted tariffs, not these big, broad tariffs. But even that could push the inflation rate higher, maybe for a shorter period of time. It could reduce economic growth. But gosh, we really have to see the details of these tariffs. We'll know a lot more next week.
Okay, thank you for your insight, Jill. You can see Jill regularly on CBS Mornings and the CBS Evening News. For more analysis, go to jillonmoney.com.